Dungeon Siege 3. Ever heard of it? It's pretty much a knockoff of Diablo 3, just like Dungeon Siege 2 was a knockoff of Diablo 2. Here's the thing, when I went shopping with my mom and I told her that I wanted Diablo 2, she said we had Diablo 2 at home. Now that I'm an adult, I like Dungeon Siege 2 better anyway. You know, nostalgia and all that. The biggest difference between Dungeon Siege 2 and Dungeon Siege 3 is just about everything. You only have 4 characters with predetermined skills and classes and specific armors. The events of Dungeon Siege 3 take place way after Dungeon Siege 2, I think. Or we're just the bad guys. Either way, it does a pretty good job of being a sequel that is unique enough that it doesn't make me want to play its predecessor. Like many of my playthroughs, I choose to make it harder for myself. For this playthrough, the rules are as follows. I can only use basic equipment. We're only going to use basic equipment, and only that we have to use basic equipment. Other than that, there are no rules. We have the difficulty set to hardcore for now, and we're going to keep it there until we can't progress. Which might be sooner than you'd think. Oh, and yeah, I would have got this video out sooner, but I've been playing Dark Souls 2. Badly. To start out our run, first I pick Reinhardt. He has excellent crowd control with his wave attacks, and he gets a mirror clone that has infinite health, and later it can reflect damage. Zent picks Lucas for now, because of his shield bash ability. Starting with a measly 70 HP each and dealing a massive 4 damage, this run could prove hugely challenging. Escaping the Burning Mansion, we head to the Chapter House. This will be our home for now. Reaching the steps, there's a mini-boss fight. First of the game, Reinhardt is able to do between 2 and 6 damage per punch, and his lightning ball deals a massive 10. Beating him, we head into the Chapter House. Speaking with Odo, we get our first level up, which we use to gain a healing ability and upgrade our skills. We head out to reach Lower Raven's Rill, and we realize that we don't have any reason to do side quests other than for experience, but only gaining 20 HP per level, they really aren't that valuable. Passing through, we run into Katrina, and what is that guy doing back there? Is he a hitman? That's what I thought. Walk away. Speaking to her, she tells us about something. I don't really know, I wasn't paying attention. Then we head out into the wilderness and fight our first wild mini-boss. Certain enemies will have a ring around them, and each ring has a different effect when you go near them. Some increase the damage you take, others drain your focus, and some damage you. Beating him, we head into a cave, or try to, but we get ganked by a bunch of enemies and it takes a couple minutes for us to clear them out. Now is a great time to explain one of the glitches that we're going to be using for this run. Typically when you revive someone, you stand over them, hold right shoulder button, and this little magical effect happens and then they get back up. Instead, we start it, then roll away. The revive continues, but we aren't stalled with the waiting. Without this glitch, the game would not be completable. Or at least I wouldn't want to do it. Entering the cave, we look at some lovely boulders. Pummeling our way through, we meet a witch. No, not that witch. Vera. No, not the bag either. A witch. The fight isn't too bad. At the start she has plenty of help, but after whittling down all the extra enemies, she goes down with very little effort. We are met with 2 excellent sets of boulders, and then we head to Gundrick Manor. On the way there's some enemies, and this is where I start to notice that they're doing a lot of damage. With some of these hits doing 30 plus damage to my puny health bar, I could barely handle their attacks. Reaching Gundrick Manor, the difficulty truly starts to become unbearable. There's a few enemies that can take out your entire health bar with full equipment. So let's see what they're like with basic. Yeah, that's about what I would expect. Finally, clearing the initial fight, we work our way back through the main hall and go safe outside. And this is where we start to notice that hardcore is a little bit too much. On normal playthroughs, we always play hardcore, but these enemies are doing nearly 100 damage to us each attack. After dying, all of the enemies respawn, so now there's door guards and we can't even get back inside. Without completely full health bars, we just can't win a fight. So we make the choice here to drop the difficulty to casual, and Zent changes his character from Lucas to Katrina. She has extremely high agility, and with her dual sidearms and rifle, she is very powerful. The game will just be too much of a miserable slog if we don't change this difficulty, and if you want to do this challenge with the difficulty set to hardcore, be my guest. Send me a video if you do, because, you know, Pixar, it didn't happen. With the difficulty now at casual, enemies are only doing about a quarter of our health bar. It's much more manageable this way. After this point, I unlocked my first empowered ability. Empowered abilities use orbs instead of focus, but deal greater damage or have a stronger effect. For my lightning ball, it launches an unstoppable lightning bolt in a straight line, dealing slightly more damage and colliding with every enemy in its path. We reach a mini-boss fight, the Meyer Hulk Horror. He has 4 mages in his arena that we have to clear out first, and then we can actually fight him. He isn't too much of a struggle. The only attacks that you really have to watch out for is his tickle fingers. He can also throw rocks at you, but they're very easy to dodge. Then we reach Lord Gundrick. He fights exactly like Lucas, but he's better in every way. The fight takes a pretty long time at nearly 5 minutes, and then we meet a nice pair of eyes. I only noticed her eyes, I swear.
It was at this point that we noticed the Deeds tab in our inventory. These deeds give small stat boosts, which for our playthrough is absolutely massive. We currently only have 2 deeds, one gives us 2 agility and the other one gives us 3 will. And while they are small, the boost is massive per attack. Returning to the chapter house, Odo is happy to see us, and he tells us of a secret deep in the forest. Heading in, we decide to fight one of the hardest optional bosses in the game. Probably because we're masochists, or stupid masochists. This enormous spider took us, and I'm not joking, 20 full minutes to kill. He has several attacks that will heal him, but if he hits his small baby spiders, it also freaking heals him. Our biggest issue with it for this fight is that his baby spiders are still pretty strong. We struggled to keep his spawn down. After beating him, we traveled to the deepest parts of the forest. There's that weird fish thing from Ben 10, and then we find a lost kid. He tells us the forest secrets, and then we make our way back to Odo. We travel through the causeway that we can just use now. It takes us to a doom world, and then we exit into a tomb. Leaving the tomb, we come into a cemetery, and there's an insane amount of skeletons. Then we reach a mini-boss fight, which we knock out pretty easily. There's another mini-boss, then another mini-boss, and after we defeat him, there's yet another mini-boss. And then, wow, I can't believe it, we don't actually fight another mini-boss. We fight a real boss this time. This is Rajani. She's an Archon, something of a demon, I suppose. She's actually pretty easy at this point. Sam's mirror clone is able to keep the pressure on her way better than he can. In her first form, she fights just like Anjali, a companion we aren't actually using. In her second form, she gets much more dangerous, throwing lots of spears and summoning fire pillars. Taking roughly another 5 minutes, we take her down and go free with Lazar. Returning back to the main hall, Rajani has awoken. Knowing she's been bested, she doesn't fight back. We set her free and then head back to Odo. Odo tells us of a place called Stonebridge, so we decide to head out and find it. Coming upon a crypt, we head inside, and a spooky voice starts talking to us. We just ignore it because this is an RPG, and hearing a spooky voice just means that there's a boss in here. Battling our way through, we reach Drakmir, a huge skeleton that also fights just like Lucas. I'm noticing the trend here. Exiting the crypt, the bridge is now repaired, so we head into the swamp. In the swamp, we meet Lord Devonsey, and he tells us of men lost in the swamp. Trudging through, we came across a village of savages. Battling our way in, the leader tells us to go away, or he will kill us. So we beat him up. He begs us to stop, and then we explain we didn't want to fight. And now we're buddy-buddy with him. Traveling back through the swamp, we meet up with the recently freed Phineas, and he uses his magic to lead us out of the swamp. Climbing up a hill, we reach Stonebridge. This monumental town has robots guarding every gate, each one welcoming us or giving us laws to follow. Finding our Legion Grand Chapter House, it is still in a sad state from Jean's siege on it 30 years ago. Finding the sentries are still active, they attack us thinking we're a threat. After clearing the rooms, we open the causeway and bring Martin and Odo back to Stonebridge. Meeting with the town leaders, the Meisters, they all immediately deny any help to us with our new war. They each have small tasks for us to do, however, that can change their opinions. First, we free the Krug, poor guy. Then, we go into a foundry, where the Cyclopses have gone mad and started attacking everyone. We free 3 dudes, who definitely belong down here. Then we battle the Cyclops leader. After defeating him, he informs us that he only started fighting for a fair wage. Apparently $0 an hour isn't fair anymore. Returning to the Meister, we tell him just to pay the Cyclopses a legitimate wage, and he dislikes our choice, but goes along with it to stop the violence. Heading into the crypt next, we investigate some missing automatons. We find a lot of goblins and bandits, and some automatons that have been hijacked to fight us rather than protect the town. Fighting our way into the deepest parts of the crypt, we find the ringleader, and he is not happy that we came to stop his operation. He's actually pretty tough. His corrupted automatons wander into the fight whilst we duel. We take a death, but he wasn't too hard to fight, and we bring him down as well. Getting back into town, the city's on fire, and the corrupted automatons are tearing the place apart. Kinda like what I'm doing in Mecha Break. We then battled 2 upgraded ones, one with extra fire and one with extra lighting, and then we reached the Meister Hall. The city's nuisance, the dapper old gent, has shown up and is attempting to destroy the city. We chase him into a secret causeway in City Hall. His battle is pretty annoying. He calls up his corrupted automatons. Fortunately, we can destroy their tubes, but only 2 at a time. And there's also a shield around the other pair of generators that is protecting the dapper old gent. After destroying the first 4 spawners, we are able to give the gent a light pummeling. Then he brings up 4 more spawners. Rinse and repeat. After battling him again, this time he calls up 8 spawners. This is fortunately the last time. We beat him within an inch of his very long life, and he surrenders. The fight took nearly 10 minutes, but not as bad as that spider.
We learned that the dapper old gent was actually a legionnaire that was 30 years ago, and he is here just exacting his revenge on the people of Stonebridge for helping Jane kill his family. We spare his life for the knowledge and experience that he has with the Legion. The Meisters are so thankful that we saved their city that they lend us their army. Then we head into the mountains to find where the Queen and her armies have landed. Traveling through the mountains, we find the Royalists are fighting a war with the Azanites. We battle our way in and we meet the Queen. The Queen and Lord Devonsey are both deep in the cavern. They ask for our help to hold off the Azunite attack. We head to the West Wing and collect some explosives. Heading to the west entrance, we blow up the orifice and then we head to the east. In the East Wing, it's the same deal. Collect explosives, blow up the door. Heading back to the Queen, we get an idea to stop the Azunites by blowing up the entire cavern. You know, that's a great idea since we're all still in the cavern. Battling some sentinels again, Phineas is able to shut down the magic fans and everything is going according to plan. We reach the bottom of the cavern where the fighting is now happening, and Jane and her handmaidens give us a visit. Since we spared Rajani, she tries to reason with Jane that we are not the same legionnaires that she murdered 30 years ago. Jane has none of that and summons the Rancor! This boss fight is tough. Enemies constantly are joining the fight while the Rancor runs around and just flattens us. After beating the Great Beast, Jane's army is in full retreat. We speak to the Queen and then we speak to the Meisters again. With both armies at our disposal, we siege Jane's spire. Siege? Like Dungeon Siege! That's where they get the name from! Reaching the base of the spire, Rajani tries to reason with us not to kill Jane. We give her our word that we will try not to kill her. We climb the first tower and battle the Archon of War. After she goes down, we head up the other tower for the Archon of Vengeance. Having brought down both Archons, the main gate now opens up and we can go fight Jane. And I guess this extra Archon. This fight was pretty long. We have to kill 2 Cyclops brutes, then her Archon attacks us as well, all while Jane is launching attacks that do very high damage and are very hard to avoid. After defeating her handmaiden, Jane flees further up the tower. Jane finally runs out of tower and begins her real fight with us. She's pretty powerful, and she fights like Angeline. She likes to warp around the boss fight arena and hit like a truck, often warping behind me and just one-shotting me. After she's defeated, she tells us that she's going to go plead with her mother's gods to create a new world. So we do the only logical thing left to do. We go shopping. We sell all of our equipment that we've collected through the game, and we have a total of 194,031 gold. Which actually isn't very much. I feel like in normal playthroughs, we end the game with like 250,000 banked, so it's likely because I didn't do so many side quests, there just wasn't very much money. After the shopping, we head into the causeway and back into our old chapter house. This place is on fire for some reason, and people are freaking out. We tell them to hide in the causeway because they'll probably be safe in there. I mean, as long as no one breaks the gate and they're just trapped forever in a world of blood and darkness with no food, no love, and no life. And... oh look, Shiva demons! We charge through the forest in an attempt to reach the ancient tree. Along the way, there's tons of angry four-armed demons and archons. At this point, we just start to ignore them because levels aren't needed anymore since it's only going to raise our health by 20 points. Reaching the tree, the world has been warped and twisted into a new path. Following it down to the river, we are met with Jane. And what is that behind her? Are those teeth? Claws? I'm feeling it. It's moving! It's like a mix of ancient Inca and, I don't know, water? We begin the battle with this monster, and the goal is just to not get knocked down. Since I want the achievement for it, and it shouldn't be too bad, yeah, that's not what I expected. For some reason, he only wants to target me and won't target Zent at all. The battle starts out pretty simple, but after reaching the first half of his health bar, he gets disarmed! Thank you. Please like the video. I'm sad to get the attention from strangers. The second phase of his fight starts and he calls down twisted forms of the enemies that we have faced throughout the game. We battle them for a while, then he consumes them, and then he collapses, giving us a chance to whack him. This section just really took forever. Fight stuff, he falls over. Hit him a few times, rinse and repeat, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. Over 20 minutes into this fight, he's finally defeated. After the fight, Jane returns and declares that she's defeated. Probably because we just killed, well, Dad. We decide to hand her over to the Queen. After all, she requested that we don't kill her. And in the end, the challenge wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting. However, dropping the difficulty was probably the main culprit for that. It sort of felt like cheating, but we really couldn't make any progress. Playing through with Zent, I had an absolute blast. I put a link down to his channel in the description, and you can find it by clicking the card right here. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to move to YouTube full-time so I can make awesome content for you. And like always, thank you everybody so much for watching. I have been Sam, and I will see you all in the next video.